We wanted to talk today about transitioning smoothly and preparing for your move from the house that you sold to the house that you are purchasing.
Right. So moving is typically one of the life's most stressful events out there. It is high on the list of stresses people have. So I would say, and we've had to do it quite ourselves quite a few times, long distance moves, and buying and selling at the same time, long distance can be overwhelming and scary. So I would say the best way to do this is being prepared, being organized, and it will make everything smoother. So we're going to just talk about a little bit about the moving experience, our own experiences with this as well, and then really step one is organization.
Exactly. Therefore, organizing your move, as my wife said before events, boxing up everything that you need and get rid of those things that you don't want it to bring those new and those old energy to the new one. And well-planned thought is really here necessary. No?
And I would say how I follow this is I went online and got some moving checklists. I absolutely did. I read how do people do this without losing their mind. So basically I found that people make lists and then they follow lists. So you should have a packing schedule. Typically when you're selling to buy, the kitchen is going to be the last thing you pack up and the first thing you unpack. Just things to consider. Whereas bedrooms can be last or later. So understanding a schedule of what you're packing and when you need to pack it, and labeling. This is really there as well. So having an inventory list, making sure that you know where everything is, especially if you're not going to move it yourself. If you're paying someone else, well, then you really need to know what the inventory list is and have a label system. The first time we moved, I'm not going to lie with this label system. My husband was so scared someone might steal our stuff that he had this labeling system I could not understand at all. It was language I don't read. So it could just, and the problem with this for me was when we got to the other side, how do I know what is what to open or close? Because I don't know his code that he wrote on all these boxes, and he had to go to work, and now I have all these boxes, and I'm like, I do not know what. So I told him we're never doing that again. So that was our first time we moved, like long distance. So after we've done the second and third time, we became a little bit better at these label systems. K for kitchen, whatever it is that works for you. Making sure colors actually matter, stickers, but having a way to know what box goes to what room. Therefore, it's going to make moving so much easier.
Exactly. Then after the packing schedule, labeling, is what do you need to do?
Also calling the service providers, making sure that you're going to have energy or water whenever you're buying that house that day. So it's not just to inform them that you're moving, it's to make sure that you have what you need when you get there.
Exactly. Therefore, you transfer it on your name, that you know that you have all the utilities that you need.
So now let's do our introduction. Let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our channel and podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and get notified.
Also, you call text all the time, 252-327-3357. We love talking to you. Don't be shy. Also, grab our buyer's guide and seller's guide in the description below. Now, my husband kind of already mentioned our next topic, so I'll just really mention it really second, is decluttering. So when you are packing, when we moved like 5 times in 2 years, I was the declutter queen. I had nothing. I moved to my new house with my new thing. I had like 3 pairs of clothes left because I got rid of almost everything. So you don't have to go to my extreme either, but understanding decluttering is a good thing.
Exactly. Therefore,
and
putting aside
tell the 1 year rule. Sorry.
Like what is the bucket for the recycling? What is for the donation? Or if you wanted to sell it like a yard sale, some people they do. I never done it. Yard sale, but some people they do.
I was going to say the 1 year rule. So if you haven't used an item in a year, it is probably time to get rid of it. Time to sell it, time to donate it, time to recycle it, time to give it away. So if you are holding on to something for sentimental value, but you literally have never touched it in 5 years, what are we doing? How sentimental is it? You're literally just holding trash. So we need to kind of separate our emotions sometimes and say, really, at the end of the day, it was just a book. Yes, I loved the book when I was 16, but it is time to recycle that book and let somebody else enjoy this book after 5 years.
Exactly. Now, we wanted to talk about packing strategy. No, as my wife said, there are things to do for the packing. But what is important first, buying the right materials, Make sure, like as my wife said, the first time that we moved, we didn't have sturdy boxes. Therefore, make sure that you have the sturdy boxes, good packing tapes, bubble wrap, For example, if you have all of your dishes, all the silverware that you care about, and also labels and markers, no?
Right, and then when you're packing, really think about it. Heavier items have to be obviously individual, and they need a lot more cushioning because it will break the smaller items. Whereas also heavier items should probably go into smaller boxes, and lighter items can go into larger boxes because you can actually put more stuff if we think about it this way. And the last thing is you want to be able to disassemble your large furniture so it's easy to transport. Why am I going to pay someone $300 to take the legs off my couch when I can take the legs off my couch, put it in a bag, and know these are my legs on my couch when I get to the other side? Like, it doesn't make sense for certain things.
Exactly. Now we wanted to talk about creating essential box. No, this box should be include the items that you need immediately, as my wife said, upon your arrival, and definitely is super important.
Right. These are things that you cannot live without. Maybe you're gonna sleep on a mattress on a floor for a couple of days because you're unpacking everything, and maybe you don't even have a mattress. Maybe it's an air mattress. But what do you need besides that air mattress? Toilet paper, utensils. What are you gonna eat with a couple of days? Where are the chargers? Where are the computers? Where are the cell phones? Where is the bedding? These are things that you really need in order to survive. So I would say have your survival box and put that right away where you need it. So that way everybody knows, okay, that's where the toilet paper is if we're talking about a move.
Exactly. Also, now we wanted to talk about planning for the moving date, because you need to have your own set of arrangement for that big day to have less stress. And really, the first thing that we wanted to talk is hiring moving services.
Yes.
No?
Also look online, because at the end of the day, we used U-Pack. They don't pay us to say that. We did use U-Pack because it was cheaper for us than us driving ourselves with a U-Haul or a Penske.
But the first time we didn't.
I'm comparing that. The first time we moved and we paid people to do it, it felt like it was going to be a good deal, but it was not a good deal at all. So really, really make sure who you're using to hire is legit, because you don't want to have the problems, the headaches that we had.
Exactly. Therefore, definitely review online what you wanted to do, whichever company you want, and also look at the insurance option too, that if you have a furniture that is expensive, make sure they don't mess up with your furniture, because they're gonna put all of them for a couple families in a one container, no, and then they deliver it. And make sure you have all this thing. And next thing that we wanted to talk is really scheduling utilities. I think my wife a little bit earlier mentioned that.
But this is something you have to have a conversation with your realtors with. Maybe they're not even the same realtors. Maybe you're selling your house in one state and buying a house in a different state. So you have to have two conversations. But understand, when can you shut off your utilities? When that's electric, water, internet. And then also is, when can you turn them on where you're going?
Yes, because when you're selling your house, they need to do the inspection and appraisal on your house, the buyer. Therefore, you don't want it to shut everything before they do these two big items. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble. Therefore, as my wife said, you need to talk to your realtor. Make sure that when is the best time to do that.
Also, if you have family, little ones, babies, children, pets even, we have to make sure that they are comfortable, prepared, and ready to move. Because no, I'm not asking my toddler to move boxes, even though mine did. But that was because she just wanted to be with us and she saw us all pushing, so she pushed too. She was one and she was helping. It was very sweet. But she didn't have to. She could have just been very happy with her Kindle where she was. And it was very sweet that she tried to help in a way. But make sure that your kids are comfortable. Your pets also are very something to consider as well. Make sure that it's easy for them as well.
Exactly. Now we wanted to focus on the final preparation, because in the final days before you move, there are a few things in the list that you need to check off. In your list is super important. The first thing is confirming the arrangement. Now double check with your booking and also the movers that confirm the schedule that you wanted to send everything.
Now, if you're buying new, there's an extra added of when are your appliances going to get delivered. If you are bringing your old appliances from one move to another, you have to make sure that it's been, like, your freezer has been unplugged long enough to where it actually can be transported. Otherwise, you're just going to ruin the truck, ruin everything you brought, because the freezer cannot defrost in the middle of all of the move. Like, that's like a really bad thing. So you have to prepare either your appliances, or if you're buying new, you have to make sure that they are being delivered when you need.
Exactly. The next thing is the last minute packing, and make sure that except daily essential is boxed and ready to go. No,
Yeah, when you're talking about putting everything in your small car, including your kids and you, what can really fit in that car, try to have least amount of last minute preparations, because you don't want to be moving the whole kitchen in your bathroom in your car because you didn't give it to the movers because you weren't ready. So you want to make sure that it's there. And then also, now we're talking about the actual drive and the move, and we need to be rested and relaxed for this. You want to explain?
Exactly. Moving is emotionally heavy, no? When you wanted to do, therefore, last thing that you wanted to do, be over stressed for the last collecting items that you didn't put it in the that whatever the service is using, and then putting all together. Therefore, make sure a night before you do all this arrangement, make sure your car is packed and you are ready to go and have a good rest and a sleep. That's going to help you.
And I can tell you, for the last house we sold in one place, my husband was like, no, we are leaving out of this state as soon as possible. I want us gone. And so we couldn't actually move till 5 o'clock that night, not because of the moving, but because of like the selling of the home. And we still hit the road for 3 hours just so he would be happy and we would rest at this hotel, because he finally was on his way to where he wanted to be. So that was always a good thing as well. So because you are, at the end of the day, having a fresh start, starting over, getting something new, and it's all going to be, embrace the change, because this is going to be an exciting adventure.
Exactly. Don't forget to call us at 252-327-3357. We are real estate agent professionals in North Carolina, specifically for Pitt County, North Carolina. We'd love to help you and connect with you. And don't forget to watch all these videos that we put for you, and see you next time.